So this morning, first thing, some words popped into my head just after I woke up. A scripture, in fact. That scripture where Jesus says, such things must come, but woe to the man through whom they come. And then, sure enough, that verse was in my reading in Matthew's Gospel for today. So I was praying and thinking, is the Lord trying to catch my attention here on something? Is there something I really need to take a closer look at? And as I was reading through this passage, I was just really struck by the emphasis Jesus puts not only on in this context the welfare, if you like, of the little children. He's saying if you cause one of these little children to sin, it'd be better for a large millstone to be tied around your neck and you be plunged into the sea. There's clearly concern there for the little children and them not sinning, but there's also a concern for the person who leads them into sin. It's a warning. Jesus is warning his disciples and others, us, anyone who reads the scripture, for our own sake. It's dangerous for us to be the one who is leading others into sin. And just doing the work we do, we're, of course, generally we're imploring people on behalf of the unborn children, those who have no voice of their own. They cannot speak for themselves, and we're advocates for their sake. We're also advocates for the sake of people in the church, members of churches who all too often aren't getting teaching, and so they are the ones, whether by omission or through things that are said, they're the ones often being led into sin when it comes to abortion or the call to act on behalf of the babies. They're being led into sin by comments made by leaders or just by the silence, which communicates that this just isn't an important issue or there's no right answer. And so we're often imploring people on their behalf, for their sake, for the sake of the people of God who need clear guidance on this, otherwise they might be led into sin. But today I just felt challenged by the Lord that it's not only for the babies, and it's not only for the sake of the people of God at large, but actually it's for the sake of those very people who are, in a sense, they present our greatest challenge, the people who are appointed by God to lead and teach, and yet many of them are in fact causing people to sin. They are leading people into sin either by silence, by not talking about abortion, or by saying things that are not true or that trivialize the issue, or just say, well, look, it's each their own. We come to different conclusions. I might be pro-life, but it's not something I want to fall out with other Christians over, or we might differ over whether it's okay to kill a baby in these circumstances, to do with the circumstances of conception or the genetic strength of the baby. But we don't want to fall out over this. And I'll be honest, I find it really difficult sometimes engaging with people who say these things, because I can see the damage that's doing to the people of God and the damage it's doing to the babies and their mothers. And yet it's even for the sake of these people, it's the people who are in some senses moving us backwards or stopping us from moving forwards in this cause, the people who are leading others into sin. It's even for their sake that we have this message. We don't want something worse than a millstone tied around your neck to happen to you. We implore you, not just for the babies, not just for the people of God at large, but for your own sake, please do not be one of those who lead people into sin, who cause people to sin by failing to speak clearly and biblically on this issue. And then Jesus goes on to say, look, if your hand causes you to sin, cut it off. If it's your eye, gouge it out. He says it's better to enter heaven with one hand, one foot, one eye, or no eyes, than it is to have all of those things and be thrown into hell. And speaking with different leaders of various churches, organizations, I often hear people say things like, well, I'm with you, I'd like to make a stronger stand, but, and then there's some reason why it's not so simple. It's someone else in the team, it's the organisation, it's the eldership team, it's what people might think in the congregation, it's whatever it might be, it's whether or not it supposedly fits in the organisation's remit. Now, I put it to you, these things, if they are the things causing you to sin, if these are the things holding you back from doing what you believe under God is the call of truth and justice, core discipleship, obeying the commands of Jesus, you've got to cut them off. I don't mean you necessarily leave your church or you leave your organisation or whatever, but if there's a friendship that's causing you to sin, you've got to cut it off. If there's an organisation, if there's a clause in your basis, or if there's some kind of unwritten code in the tribe that you're in, and it's causing you to sin, cut it off. This is serious stuff. This is about life and death. And so if there's something that you know is holding you back, can I urge you, for your sake, not just for the babies, not just for the people of God, but for your sake, if there's something causing you to sin, because it's holding you back from being that clear voice for the unborn that you know you need to be, can I urge you, for your sakes, cut it off.